Hey Terrasphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and I am here today with a quick review. I just got it in the mail, so I haven't even used it yet. Well, I did kind of look through to kind of get some thoughts, but I haven't like used it yet. Of the Disciples Tarot, and also Catherine's Tarot in Thyme Oracle. So, which is really misleading. I don't know yet how I feel about people calling things tarot when they're not tarot. I don't think I like it. No, sir, I don't like it. But anyway, that doesn't mean that I don't like the thing. I just don't like the use of the word tarot where it's not a tarot. But anywho, okay, let's jump in. So I took them out of the mailing and the bubble wrap, and I took the cellophane off of this just to kind of think you don't have to watch me fumble through and try and open it. But the first thing I will tell you is that I was disappointed to see that these are printed with Game Crafter. Womp womp. That is not to say do not support this tarot deck, because it is a beautiful tarot deck, but I don't know if you can see, but like the tuck box is absolutely awful. It's a Game Crafter tuck box. There is room for more tarot or whatever to float around in there, so they're not very secure. I have my Arcane Bullshit deck by Game Crafter, and I had that in my purse for like 2-3 days, and the tuck box is all but destroyed. It doesn't even stay closed anymore, so I have to make a wrap or something for that, and I'm gonna have to do the same for this, which for I think I paid 40 some odd for this. But for a 40 some odd dollar deck, like, I don't want to have to make a bag for it. I want to choose to make a bag for it. I will probably, but I don't want to have to make a bag for it. But anywho, that being said, it is a beautiful deck. So Game Crafter, that's the other problem I have with Game Crafter deck. Well, I have a few problems. One is the quality of their boxes is just awful. Two, their cardstock is also awful. This is just like a regular papery cardstock. And three, when they package their decks, they don't put them in order. So I had to put this deck in order for you guys so we could do the flip through. And I think the thing that makes me the saddest about this being a Game Crafter deck is that it is an absolutely gorgeous deck. Like this deck gives, like the imagery in this deck gives the Akashic Tarot like a kick in the pants and a run for its money. I mean, the style that this artist has is just absolutely fantastic, which is why I'm just like, why did you choose to go Game Crafter? Like seriously, just do a Kickstarter or something and then just get a good printer, because I would pledge, like I already own your deck, I would pledge a Kickstarter for better quality cardstock. But anyway, moving forward, because I think the thing we need to focus on in this deck is the imagery, because it is, oh, somebody's in trouble. The thing we need to focus on in this deck absolutely is the imagery. So I'll do the majors, and then I'll do like a couple of the minors, because you do want to discover it for yourself. Some of this stuff is like really juicy, and you've been pre-warned there's nudity in this deck. Not a ton, but a little bit. But anyway, you've got the Fool, the Magician. I think that is another thing a professional printer might be able to help her with. Some of the fonts and borders are a little inconsistent. As you can see, the Fool versus the Magician, like that's a big border. So a professional printer might be able to help her with that. But I mean, for something that she did this all on her own, you know, no professional printing help, no major editors or anything like that, as far as I can tell. She did a fantastic job. So I don't want to take anything away from the fact that Catherine Giese, I think that's the way you say her last name, it's Giese. I think she did it for doing this all on her own. I couldn't have done this on my own. So I don't want to take that away from her. She did a fantastic job. It's a beautiful deck. I just wish it deserves to be on better cardstock. Your art deserves better, Catherine. It deserves better. But anyway, we have the Fool, the Magician. I also like how some of the traditionally male characters in this deck are female, and some of the traditionally female characters are male. So that was kind of a fun little turnaround. Oh, sorry, the High Priestess. Actually, this is one that I kind of wish, okay, so this is the High Priestess, and this is the Empress. I don't know if you guys can like see that very well. We got really bad glare here. Yay, retail lighting. But I almost feel like this imagery needs to be reversed. I feel like this needs to be the Empress, and I feel like this needs to be the High Priestess. I think it's mostly the moon imagery to be found there, but something about this one is a little more ethereal, and then something about this one is a little more grounded and fertile. But anyway, so this is a little more intuition-y, you know, woo, psychic-y energy, and then this one is a little more five senses. So anywho, those are those. And then we've got the Emperor, the Hierophant, also a woman, traditionally a man. The Lovers is just a beautiful card. I mean, that is just gorgeous. I don't know if she got professional dancers to model or what, but excellent. I love this Chariot card. I love how there's no horses on it. Yes, epic win. And the fact that it's a broom. Like, how much does this make you want to watch all of the Quidditch scenes in Harry Potter right now? So much. The Strength card. I like how she's not petting the lion. I like how she's kind of prancing in front of it. If you're going to have lion imagery, at least go a little different. And I love how this one kind of deviates. We've got the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. This was another one with inconsistent borders. The border on the bottom of this card, like there's a lot of border. But again, it's a beautiful card. I love how there's a lot of symbolism right in that wheel. Like you could spend days like looking up all the stuff on that wheel. Justice. The Hanged Man. This is another one I absolutely love. She uses that cow mask a lot in this deck. Sorry, let's try this. There we go. And how it's falling off of him there, and you've got the moon. Let's see. The Death card, that's another one of my favorite cards in this deck. How beautiful is that imagery? Like I said, this deck is absolutely gorgeous, and it deserves a better treatment than it received. Temperance. The Devil. This is a gorgeous Devil card as well. I believe those are two men. So there's no women in this Devil card, but this is gorgeous. It's got some really great energy going on in here. I love this tower, how it's just a silhouette. So beautiful. No lightning, no traditional lightning, which is great. The Star. The Moon. I love this one. The Moon card is always one of the ones that makes me be like, okay, am I going to buy it? And the Moon card is well done. I love this Sun card. It is just absolutely gorgeous with like the vintage bathing suit and just the bright image, the bright yellow, orangey, gold imagery, and with the like the sepia black and white toned model. It's just so good. It's just so good. And I feel like on better cardstock with a better printer, this imagery would just pop even more. Like, please, 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 Catherine, please look into whoever prints Star Child, even if you went with somebody like Harper Elixir. Oh my God, I would just absolutely, I would die. I would die. It would be amazing. I would die even more if it was gilded. You know, just putting it out there. The World card, how beautiful is that? And then you go into the suits. So the suits are just as gorgeous. I'll do a quick flip through. They definitely have a feel of their own. Like each suit has its own kind of feel. Love that Five of Swords for whatever reason. And it's definitely rider weight imagery. It deviates like a little bit occasionally, but not necessarily. And then, oh, look at that Ten of Swords. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a face in the moon. It's an absolutely gorgeous card. And then you've got Cups. I love the cup suit. It's just very spacey in the background of the cups. Just Everything about this deck is gorgeous. I know, I'm sorry about the glare, you guys. You should really go online and check out even better images, but I love this one. She's at the Vanity, the Six of Cups. Like, so good. Let's see. Oh, knights in this. Sometimes knights in this. This is another like gender bending. Some of the knights in this are actually women, which is fantastic. And sometimes they're men. Let's see. The wands are absolutely, let me find a good wand for you. Actually, here's a wand that I didn't particularly enjoy. So the Seven of Wands is, you know, you're defending some, like you're usually it's the guy and he's like doing this and he's got like the 6 guys trying to hit him in the dick with sticks. But this guy is just kind of like pushing against other, like 6 other sticks. And it's just like, I guess, like he doesn't even, I don't know what the model was doing that day, but it doesn't even look like he's trying that hard. I think if he had like had a foot out in front of him and he was like lunging into them, it might have been a little more effective. But here he's just kind of like, maybe don't, maybe I'll push a little bit. I'm not gonna really try though. So that's the only improvement that I would make on this card. And that's really the only card I could find something in the imagery that, like the switch between the Empress, the switch between the Empress and the High Priestess, and this one just have this guy trying a little bit harder. But otherwise, gorgeous imagery. Love that 9 of Wands. And this 10, can we even talk about this 10? It's gorgeous. Let's see. Oh, the Pentacles, just as beautiful. I love this 3 of Pentacles. Again, it's really hard to see. Like, and again, if it had gotten a better printing treatment, there's lots of really subtle colors in this mountain range. There's lots of really subtle like browns and greens and blues and reds. And it's really hard to see. I just think a different printer like really would have made this image pop. Let's see, the 3 of Pentacles. I love this 4 of Pentacles. Just everything about this deck is so good. And then again, you have the really sad moon from the 10 of Swords. Comes up again in the 5 of Pentacles. But it's really like this one. Come on, can we even right now with the 7? This is like perfect. I just wish it wasn't on Game Crafter cards, because the other thing I will say about Game Crafter cards is once they start to age, they actually do this weird like taco curl thing, and you're just like, why? Why are you curling like a taco? Can we look at that page? How cute. And this knight. I love this knight card. And of course you've got the Queen and the King. Whoever is modeling like this dude right here, I imagine this dude sounding like Nathan Fillion in my head, like from Nathan Fillion as Captain Hammer in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Like, he's just so cheesy. For whatever reason, he just emits like the, I am a hero, but a kind of cheesy one. Like, meh, 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 kind of a vibe. And I don't know why I get that from him, but I don't altogether hate it. I think that'll add an interesting layer to readings, but like, he's kind of cheesy. But yeah, like I said, it's an absolutely gorgeous deck. It reads really well. Well, actually, I don't know how it reads, but the imagery is there for it to read really well. The Rider-Waite, like it's very it goes back to Rider-Waite, kind of not obviously, but the imagery holds up. So if you're a beginner looking for an art-based Rider-Waite deck, like you're looking to move on from like your plaid backs to something different, this is a great one. I also like how it's a little darker without being super like gothy, like Anne Rice vampires in your face about it. And it comes with a book. So this is a book. This is absolutely 100% self-published as well. It's like a little white book but bigger. It's got a paragraph for each of the cards. I don't believe there are any spreads in here. Nope, no spreads. and it's just meanings for the cards. So you can apply like whatever spreads you want. I guess you could pull spreads from Deck of 1,000 Spreads. You could just go online. I mean, there's infinite resources for spreads. There are just so many. So I guess you didn't really have to include them in here. And like I said, this is a self-published book, so the less pages, the less it'll cost you. But yeah, it's an absolutely, it's a cute book. From what I read, very few typos. It reads really well. So it's not like some, like, okay, so for example, even like a very well published book, oh, what is it? The Mary L. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to read that book, but it is like stream of consciousness, like she just dropped some acid ridiculousness. This does not read like that. This is a very like, this is what that card means, and this is why I use some of that symbolism in one paragraph. It is brief. This is like each card has a 1-page resume and you are thankful for it. So I absolutely love this book. This is an amazing deck. And we're going to move on to her Tarot in Thyme. So this is Tarot in Thyme, Thyme, like the spice. It is not a companion deck to Disciples Tarot. It actually has a completely different vibe. And again, it's Game Crafter, so the box is like, you know, it leaves something to be desired. Lots of room in there for other cards if you wanted. Because Game Crafter doesn't, like, they have like template boxes, and like, okay, so like let's say if you had 50 cards, it would go in a tarot box, even though you could fit another 30 because it's too big for like their 30 card box or whatever sizes the boxes are. So in this deck you get a title card. And this was another one I had to put in order too. I put it in order with the book. For whatever reason, I just needed it in order for this review. But it's kind of like Lenormand meets tarot meets an oracle. There are some cards from Lenormand. There are some cards from tarot. There are some original type cards in there, and then there are actually a few cards at the end. We'll show you them at the end, and those are a little weird for me. But again, I feel like they'll show up in interesting ways in a reading, or you could take them out if you chose to. But anyway, you've got the bear. You've got Thyme. T-I-M-E, not to be confused with the title. You've got mountains, broom, and then you've got, okay, so you've got crystals and you have rocks. So this card is meant to be viewed either as either or. You can substitute one or the other in a reading. From what I could tell from the instructions in her book, it just depends on your point of view. Either that thing that you have is a worthless rock or it's an amazing crystal. Either way, both are hard and come from the earth. So it's a way to choose whether or not you're going to look at the positive or negative of a thing. Then you have a Thyme, which is another word for dagger, I have learned. You've got the hare, the moon, candles, the star. I love this hootie owl. I will always love me a good hootie owl, and actually this was the reason, this was the tipping point card. I was on the fence. I saw this and I was like, oh, it's got a really good owl, okay. And it was bundled together with the deck. You can buy both, I think it was $65 to get both of these. So you save like 15 bucks. So it was almost like half off of this. So yeah, you got potions, the crow. It's a good crow card. I really like this one. Toad, tree, smoke. Something about this I really enjoy. I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, but not the movies. Like if I was reading the book, this is kind of how I would picture it. Then you've got the death card. I really love this dancing skeleton. And he means pretty much the same thing as he does in tarot, by the way. You've got Merlin. Haven't read on that. I find her, like, every once in a while you run across something that's a person in this deck, and I find that really interesting. I feel like this probably would have been better served if it was people-less. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not a fan of people decks anyway, so I just feel like the people are so few and far between. I feel like she probably could have gone people-less and had it been almost a little better off. Like even if she just did like a hat and a staff or something, or even just this and called it Merlin. You've got the feather, Thyme, Thyme. Books. Wolf. Fish, which is a mermaid, which is like, why'd you go people with this? You could have easily just done a fish. Again, interesting choices for people versus no people. The snake, storm, the cat, cauldron, the sun. This sun like really creeps me out. This is like your friend got real high and told you a joke, and it's just kind of like, isn't it funny? But like you weren't high yet, so maybe it'll be funny later, dude. We're gonna have to reflect on that. The eye. And then, okay, so these are the deck. These are the cards. We get to the cards of the deck where you're just kind of like, I wonder why she put these in here. But they're old photographs. They're old photographs from like of her family's farm. I guess she owns a farm. She's located in Maine, and she has a family farm up there. So these are old vintage photographs that she's obviously kind of just upped some of the color in. But this one is like a railroad track. She calls this one the Lovers. This is her, these are two of her distant relatives. Well, not distant, but like just as in distant past wise. These are some of her relatives. This is an old family photo, which I think is kind of cool. And then this is a sister's card. And then this is the farm during a blizzard. So for the style of deck that she did, mostly hand-drawn. Well, they're all hand-drawn with the exception of those last 5. I find that these are a really stark contrast to the rest of this. Like it's weird. Like these almost don't fit in. I would almost be happier if she had a separate deck of these and then a separate deck of these. But again, that could manifest itself in ways that are really interesting in a reading. Like it could be because some of the themes are a little repetitive, not a little repetitive, but like it could be interchangeable. They could manifest themselves in really interesting ways in a reading. So, and if you wanted people in a deck, why wouldn't you just do the photos of the people and then make, I don't know, the thought process, I would like to know more about the thought process, honestly. I wouldn't be sad if she did a blog entry or something, or a video telling us why she put those cards in there and why she decided to do like a pinch of people and mostly animals. But it also does come with a book. And again, it's just like a little paragraph in like a meditative, like little mantras, like something like things to meditate on, keywords for each, and then like a little paragraph describing the card. And again, this is like 100% self-published. And then the thing that I do enjoy actually about this one, because it is an oracle and oracles do become very personal and very different for every person, at the back of the book, she's got notes pages. So you can make this book your own. You can absolutely make this oracle your own. It's going to mean different things for you, but if you have like a spread you like, you can stick it in there and it's readily accessed. If you have a different meaning for a card, you can stick it in here and it's readily accessed. I actually wish that the Animal Totem Tarot did it a little bit, but I actually wish that more people who come out with these kind of things would put note sections, and maybe not even necessarily after every card, but even like just that little clump at the end of the book is fantastic, because then you can write a little annotation on the page for the card, like see the note section, and then head there if you need. So anyway, that was my take on the Disciples Tarot. So I will do a quick little card pull from each, and we will move on with the rest of our day. The only shining grace I will say about Game Crafter decks, like the only bright spot that they have going for them, is that they shuffle well, because the cardstock is so thin. Again, I would love, Catherine, I love this deck. This is a great deck. This is going to become a workhorse for me. I would love to see it printed with somebody else that isn't Game Crafter. So yeah, I mean, definitely reach out to some of the other deck makers, or even on forums and what have you, and see if you can figure out who did Star Child, or who did, and I know Harper Elixir did, actually, do I have my Star Child? Who printed this one? It doesn't say. It does not say who printed this, but I'll bet you could figure out who printed it. Or even, you know, like I said, Harper Elixir. I love that cardstock, and it would probably serve your tarot much better. And if you went borderless, P.S. if you were to do that and you went borderless, I would just be like, so good. But yeah, it's a beautiful tarot, and it deserves a much better printing treatment than what you did. That doesn't mean that I won't love it as much. Again, don't take this like the only reason I'm saying this is because I do like it so much, and I can see from regular use where it would get a little beat up, and I wish the images were just a teeny tiny pinch clearer than they're clear. They could be crisp. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it shuffles, it rifles really well, hand over hand really well. Oh, that one just flew out at us. And the back of the card is, you can't tell reversals or no, which is fantastic. So we'll pull one from here. I'm not going to pull one from Tarot and Thyme yet because I'm not all that familiar. Yeah, the other thing that I don't like about Game Crafter is because the stock is, these two just fell right out as well. So we'll do both of those. We got a 3-card reading, but when you get down to the end of the hand over hand shuffle, like these, like they tend to bow and like jump. It's not, and I don't count that as jumpers either. I mean, that's just bad stock. So we have, all right, so first came out the Knight of Cups, and the 7 of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles. So, actually, 9 of Pentacles has been stalking me really hard. But let's see. So 7 of Cups is usually about confusion and choices. You know, just a little bit of chaos, decision making, and a little bit of stalling because there are so many decisions to make, and confronting like all like kind of the chaos and ridiculous in your life that goes on as a result. It could be somebody, it kind of, some people see it as like the shell game, like somebody is distracting you on purpose. But the 9 of Pentacles there is a very positive card. It's a card of like, you are in a really good place and you did that shit yourself. So I see the 7 of Cups as just like, you've got options, and you're in a good place, so you don't really have to speed along to choose exactly what it is you want to do right now. And then as far as the Knight of Cups is concerned, okay, so I don't read, I don't really know how I feel about court cards yet. I tend to like them, read them situationally. And where this is a woman as opposed to a man, I'm going to resort to the book. So the Knight of Cups rides in slowly on her white horse. She looks coyly over her shoulder as she parades in celebration. Charming, seductive, and emotionally in tune with those around her. This card can manifest as a person, a smooth time in relationships, or a new opportunity that seems very beguiling. So I would say that this paired with this seems to say that if something looks too good to be true, if somebody or something looks too good to be true, it probably is. And you need to take your time to really dig to the bottom of what they are presenting with you, and don't let whoever get in the way of screwing up like what you've got going for you here. Like you've got a good thing going on, so don't rush into any decision making headlong. Really take a look and examine all of your options. Remember, in traditional Rider-Waite, those cups are filled with like some good things and some shit things too. Like there's you know, like there's an angel in one cup, there's some poison in another, there's some wine in another. Like, so you want to make sure that you choose the right thing. And again, this one is like, just because something is charming and it looks amazing, maybe look a little bit deeper beneath that surface, because you don't want to mess up the stability and the amazingness that you've built up here. I mean, you know, you worked really hard to achieve this. Don't let any of this stuff going on right here mess with that. So that would be the reading for today. I hope that message reached whoever it needs to reach. And thank you guys for listening to me ramble on about my new amazing acquisition. If you have any questions, in the description box below. And of course, as always, I will link to the artist's webpage for the deck. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon.